Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Bob Lee, and I'd like to finally do a housing tour. I'd like to welcome you to Broomwood Hollow Plot Zero in Happy Wind Refuge. This is what I like to call my little fishing village. Very excited about this. Went full RP on this character, as you can tell by looking at him. Bob Dobby Lee. He is my house elf. I went back into Legion and got the hidden or the artifact fishing pole just for this, and then I also went and got the salty title because I wanted to do full RP. So looking at walking into my house here, I actually redid my house a little bit ago, which, by the way, for everybody, this video is going to be a little bit more long form, me talking about how I like housing. I didn't think I'd like it, and then also kind of how I designed it and stuff like that. So if you're looking, obviously click through if you just want to see what the rooms look like and stuff like that. But other than that, I'll be explaining it and kind of the journey that I've been on. So originally got the house when I was watching videos of housing. I saw this plot and absolutely loved it, which this seems to be a pretty popular plot. Mostly for the fishing dock. The fishing dock and our cool little not so alive tree that's here. And then, you know, this whole little town, this island that we have over here. It's really fun. I go into a lot of RP on my stream about talking about the parties and stuff like that we throw over here. It's my buddy Trav's house, in real life friend. Forced him to get it so that we could be next to each other. So just redid the outside of this house, added some trees, and just to make it feel a little bit more encapsulated. Really want there to be a good view as you walk in. That's why you can see the placement of that water tower back there, this tent and stuff like that. But one of the things that I have ran into, and when I started getting into housing, I was really designing the outside of the house, and I totally redid this probably a week ago, is the 250 placement cap is really what hinders. Now, I understand that developers and stuff like that for the Happy Wind Refuge that we're in, you can only have so much stuff because it'll just crash the server. So I get it, but you have to play around it. So I've done the best that I could. Created this little fishing village that I really like. And I'll talk about some inspiration that on WoW Housing Database that I looked up and used. So if you see anything, which I will give the shout outs to people when I have used them as inspiration for sure. But really wanted to go with the vibe of the little village that we have here. So created this platform and then backed two of these carts up to it, as if, this is our little vendors and stuff like that. Pop off the mount here. Oops. Pop off the mount. And using trees to fill up space and stuff like that. Really like it. Got your little fishing poles here. Carts, obviously, we're giving vendors. So they got fruit. They got, some spices and all that. Big fan of Borealis and everything as far as the colors that are there. So you'll see a lot of that theme in my house. But got a cool little spot here where you can just chill, take it in. Maybe work on some potions and stuff like that. It's also really rare to get lighting on the outside of your house. And a lot of the times I play at night. So it's pretty rare for me to see this house lit up in the daytime. But, you have your little covering here. And to where you can take a nap if you need to. I really like the colors. Another really cool cart that I got, is if there's a vendor, they just pulled up and, the people that are over here that are fishing, you want a little break, you want to get a sandwich, a bun of some kind, maybe a couple extra drinks. This is the wine house. We're all about having a good time fishing here. Sometimes your stairs don't want to work, so that's always fun. There we go. But then created this platform. One of the things that I really like about, I guess, housing in general is I like constructing. So I've used a lot of platforms, a lot of beams to construct, which you'll see inside the house. And then coming over here to the side, another stairway. Stairs, by the way. Oh my gosh, stairs. Creating stairs with these beams. I know people, which I use them inside as well, using other furniture to make stairs. But man, using beams It can be a lot. You got your little outhouse in case anybody, is having a little bit too good of a time outside. They can just come over here and use the outhouse instead of getting inside. Really cool. Really like that windmill. Over here, this is where I just ran out 250 out of 250, so just have something simple in there. But I like how big this is. It takes up a nice bit of space. We also have, your little chicken coop back here. Fawn seems to be really happy playing with the chickens, most likely. And then one of the other awesome things about this house is you have the 4 sisters of waterfalls coming down. So I just fell in love with this plot. As soon as I saw it on one of the videos of people reviewing houses and plots, I just instantly fell in love with it. But adding the trees really filled up the space a lot. So there was another guy who I believe he won the build off on WoW, like one of the first competitions they held, and he actually had this plot, which I found pretty cool because I was using the same one, mostly, like I said, because of the built-in dock, and I was already going to go with the whole fishing vibe. But we'll go in, put my little mailbox here. We'll go in and we'll check out the house. We'll check out the house. Oops, there we go. So obviously you have to have your housing mog. So Dobby lives in this house. This is his thing. He's got his little safety murloc on, the shark hat. As you can tell, I enjoy playing this game. It's my cool off, chill vibe when I want to disconnect from the world. So I like to have funny mogs and characters and stuff like that. And yeah, so we're in the inside. It's all about having a good time here while fishing and having copious amounts of wine. Think of Game of Thrones, just more wine, more wine. And right now my house is level 6. I played Legion Remix, so I didn't get into housing until after that. We are level 6, and we are completely maxed out, 2360 out of 2360, which you won't be able to tell from the first part of this room. This was the first thing that I made. And if I have any piece of advice for anyone, it's to make sure that your layout, I guess we're a couple short, but is make sure your floor plan is right. Because you can't change this main room without deleting all these other things. And I'd already had my hallway done and stuff like that in some of my grand rooms. So this is what I'm stuck with for now. And yeah. So this first room, not a big deal. But I really, really have been loving housing. I did not think I would. I started with the outside, and then I realized the inside of your house is really where you can get insane, because you can just put so much more decor in here. What I also realized is that I really like to construct. I'm big into construction and building platforms and stuff like that within the house using vertical for more than I guess it's intended, or maybe it's exactly how it's intended. I don't know, but I found myself just absolutely just hours ticking away, just having a good time. And then the last thing that I like to do is I love lighting the house after, because at basic mode, when you're putting stuff in, it'll look good, and then the lighting is really what kicks it off. And you guys will be able to see that in a couple of these rooms. So coming into this room just real quick, you got a little coffee thing. One of my friends had the Grummies, so they got a lot of coffee stuff. So like I said, this first bit is just very, very basic. This is what I thought I was doing something good here, and then I started looking on WoW housing database and got some inspiration and realized what was possible. And so you'll see once we walk through the dark portal here just how crazy it ended up getting, and where it really, really kicked off. My little study area here, cool little plushie, got the rocket, nice tapestry. This is actually kind of new because I started working some Mechagon stuff and getting some Koresh things. My little mage corner. So pretty cool, I think. It works. It works. But now we're going to go into my first big aha moment was I really wanted, well, you guys will just see. Welcome to my cave that started collapsing in on itself. A lot of big rocks for designs for you guys that are watching. If you're trying to figure out like how much stuff is placed and all that, my biggest piece of advice is to size things to 200, especially for rocks and all that, and then size it down from there. Just size up to 200, see what it works, and then superimpose it into the wall. So that's what we did here. That's how we were able to get the hallway design. Got a couple little things. Got some foliage coming through. Got some, you know, these pillars were straight at one point, but then it started collapsing. So we had to put some extra stability in here for sure. Got some foliage coming through. And then this is where I'm going to give a shout out to, I'm going to mess his name. And people that watch my stream know I mess everyone's name up when I try to do it. But Elitovius, in my light destined manner, I'll link it down below in the video for the WoW housing database, like actually his. But when I started looking through houses, just kind of seeing what people were doing, I absolutely fell in love with his altar. So when you guys check that out, you'll see basically this is pretty much a direct copy of his altar. With that, this is what really fired me up in housing. Was I was making rooms, and then I went to look for inspiration, and finding his house and finding this altar is really, it kind of challenged me. Basically, I wanted to see if I had the skill to be able to recreate his altar. And learning and building his altar is what really taught me the possibilities that WoW housing has within it. Whether that's dealing with sizing, whether that's sinking something into the ground, superimposing it into the walls to where it's not so giant. Like, I hadn't thought of any of those ideas yet until I saw his house, Elite's house. And it really just fired me up. Like, I just went in, like, I lose time in here. Time is just a construct when you're building and housing, I think. And yeah, I absolutely fell in love with it. So you have the altar coming in here. It's kind of like my little paladin area. Big thing. So these boards and stuff are not perfect. So just use little cheat codes by putting in flowers and stuff like that to get the sizing correct across the board. So these are big platforms that are almost at 200 or something like that. But then this middle board, to be able to make it not look insane, it's not that big. So there's actually a gap underneath here, but you can't really see it until I pointed it out to you. And because I use the little flowers to kind of mask any imperfections. But super cool. And then my little lights, once you hit level 6, you can change the lighting in the house. It worked over here, so I added it. Thinking about still making a cutout in the rock because you have the light coming down, so making like a little skyway for it. That would be cool, I think. Then we have this little corner over here. We'll actually look back at the hallway. I just think it looks good. Yeah, I've really had so much fun making all this stuff. Just every little detail. What I tell people is that once it's placed, you have to size it, you have to place it right, you have to get the angle right. Like, there's always 3 to 4 moves on every single piece that you're seeing in here. And I've just really fallen in love with it. And then looking at my tapestries that are on the wall here, or my what are they called? Just what are they called? Hold on. My curtains. There you go. Let's find the right wording here. Just finding my curtains was actually the dies. Then I built a lot of this and hadn't clicked the die button yet. And so when you get over here and you check the dies, you can see everything is custom dyed to make it actually look good. And then using some inspiration from other people to see that you can actually layer these to give it an even better look. And don't worry, we'll go over to that room. We'll go over to my great room in a second. We got, like I said, it's going to be a longer video, but I've really had fun, and I'm kind of at a point to where I'm having to level housing right now, so I can't build out too much anymore. So I was like, hey, we might as well do an update. Or I guess an initial video, because I've never showed anybody my house other than my friends yet, which I've now have the nickname. I go by Bob Lee on stream, and my friends call me Bob the Builder now because I'm always doing housing stuff. And I got to give a shout out to, I have to give a shout out to to Blizzard for creating housing, because it creates me to go out into the world. I found myself doing old raids and stuff like that just for housing decor. Anything, that's the main reason I'm going out and playing the game right now, is just for housing decor. I see something that I like, and then I go get it. So these are some of the add-ons that I use. Decor vendor, this one's huge. So if I wanted to go look at something like I was doing earlier, you just look at boss drops. Let's go to Coltiris here. So I'm still working on getting these Mechagon ones, but like this little thing, this Gnomerish recycle, where do you get that? Strange recycling thing. That's where you get it. This add-on is great. So this throne, I have a bunch of them because I've been farming Freehold. And so then you can just right-click it, and it can tell you exactly where it's from. And then if you guys didn't know how to do this, if you don't know where Freehold is, you go to Tier Guards, or you can go into... where is it? Adventure Guide, and then go to Raids, and then go to Battle for Azeroth. It's Dungeons, Battle for Azeroth, Freehold. So I'm like, oh, I don't know how to get to Freehold. Show on map, and then Tier Guard Sound, and it's right there. And that's how you can click it to actually navigate there. Somebody showed me that, so I might as well pass it on. So yeah, I have my little Kobold corner over here with my map and stuff like that. Little Paladin weapons. Some cool placement trunks. You know, it's where I've collected all my wares. Put some of them down here. But now we can get to the Grand Hall. The Grand Hall, as I've been calling it. Centerpiece is obviously this fireplace, and you'll see a lot of Borealis themed in the colors and stuff like that. But this is a empty stairwell, so that's how you get the elevation here. And so just coming over here, kind of a blank corner, still getting some designs for over here. One of the things you'll notice is that's a secret bookcase. We'll go in there eventually. But then the rest of these bookcases actually filled up with books. But yeah, this is a really fun, you'll see I really like the empty stairwell because you get so much vertical. And then you can play with sizing, you know, using an old movie trick, which is the higher something goes, or a Disney trick at Disneyland, to where the higher on the building it is, the smaller you make the windows, so it makes things seem taller than they actually are. Got a little reading nook over here. I think this worked out really well. Another little secret door case over there, or a bookcase. We'll see that in a second. This is where I like to think that when my friends come over, we'll sit here and eat. You know, it doesn't really work for me. Dobby is about the people. He's not selfish at all. He's about the people. So this is sized up for my normal size friends, not so much me. Got my little rogue corner over here, or I don't know, mixology corner. Just, you know, doing some spells, looking at some cool stuff over here. Let's see. We got the Tome of Maldraxxus, the Ebonblade Tome. Just some really cool little, I don't know, I really liked this little area over here. And then we built the platform. You guys can see, I'm sure maybe some people have already seen this, but these are just these are just tables that we put on top of each other to kind of give it that look of a stairway that has a carpet on it to go up. And then this was actually an accident that I did, but because I built this platform, it made it a stairway on each side to be able to get up. So I really like that. And then, well, Dobby, to stay in tradition of the RP, he lives under the stairwell, of course. So we'll go under here. Little secret doorway. This is where I live right here. Got my little plushie. And this actually, it just fits me so perfect. You know, after a long day of building, going out doing, what are they called? Endeavor stuff to be able to level. This is where I just kick back right here. I got this big old house, but this is all I need right here. This is it. This is Dobby's place. The rest of it is for the friends. So we'll go out, little secret entry there. And then once again, a lot of curtains, a lot of tapestries and all that, because it fills the room really nicely. Got some very cool ship, or what are they called? Not lanterns, chandeliers there. Chandeliers. You'll hear me mess up words all the time. It's just thing. And man, getting these, oh my gosh. You want to talk about what took me a long time. This got me lore master of Borealis. That's where it's at in Borealis, but we'll get you the actual right achievement here. Lore master. What is it? It's one of the lore masters. I know that. Maybe it's BFA. Maybe, yeah, lore master. This one says Zandalar, but I got it on Alliance. Yeah, those took a long time, and I thought I was going to be able to dye them for my other room that I was going to use and use multiple, but you can't dye those, so they ended up just working in here. We'll walk through here some more. And then first stairway experience. So the Dobby corner actually, or the Dobby underneath kind of happened naturally because I wanted to hide the staircase that I created myself. And that's one of the things that I realized is the staircase rooms, the stairs take up so much room. So I just ended up building my own staircases. And I am no contractor by trade whatsoever. So I had to figure out how to do all this stuff by myself. And it's not as easy as just laying them here, because then you have to test it to make sure your characters can actually walk up. Got some cool crates here that all dyed to match the color theme, and we'll talk about this one later. But yeah, using some undermined fencing. As we go up, we left the Borealis theme a little bit, and we're getting more into the Goblin theme, as you'll see. There might be some Gallywix inspirations here. I really went into the Goblin character. As we talked about before, so obviously this empty stairwell place was completely empty, so I had to build all these platforms and stuff like that. Looking at other people's stuff, Elite's house, as I'd mentioned, gave me a lot of inspiration and some ideas. So, but this is all trial and error for me. This was to see if I could do it. So stairways and this big wraparound platform is actually the first things that I did in this room. Got my little wine corner here. As I said before, the theme of this house is just about fishing and having a good old time, drinking a lot of wine. So got a little wine room in here. Still need to go get some more wine cups to actually put on the countertop, but I think it's a cool little room. I wish I could do something a little bit better with the lighting. Keep working it, you know. You're never done building is what I've realized. I'm always in here changing stuff or just, you know, switching things little by little. So we'll come across this big platform here. We'll check that area out in a second. Obviously running out of room as far as things that I could put, but as you'll see, we got some cool tapestries that might be hiding something from here, to where if you're over here at the wine area, you're like, hey, what's going on over there? What kind of good times are they having over here? I'm not sure, but there's a little, there's something going on over here, so we'll check it out. What kind of house would it be? What kind of goblin house would it be if you didn't have your own jacuzzi? Yeah, so we got our own little jacuzzi here. You know, after a long day, you just want to sit, relax the legs, relax the lower back. Really, really like string lights. Oh my gosh, you want to talk about hard as far as angling them the right way to where it doesn't look ridiculous, to where it goes to one side of the wall and then goes into your pillar that you placed here. Takes a while, especially with the sizing. But this area, still working on it, still a work in progress. But yeah, we got the jacuzzi. But so when I was over here, I realized I had this moment. This happened at about midnight. I was in Discord with my friend, and I realized I didn't just want this area to end. And I was like, well, I've already built a staircase. Let's build a nice little mini platform. So you come down here to the little mini platform to be able to look down at everybody. Hey, hello, I'm up here, and what's going on? Kind of thing. Well, then I realized I had more vertical in this house. So we went up. We built vertically. This is my first introduction to building a spiral staircase. Once again, had no idea. Was just figuring stuff out. And now this is the adults only corner up here. This is the area where we get to chill. We got another platform up here. Adults only hangout spot where we want to hang out, chill, get away from the kids, get away from everybody, and we just want to kick it. This is where we go. So, of course, we got the Torrance soup pot. We got all kinds of food. We got a hookah up here. Very Gallywix inspired, as you can tell. Went full goblin here. And, you know, dyeing the back tapestries or the back curtains and all that. We got the lights. They're facing different directions. It just gets wild up here. We got some extra food in case you're hungry. You know, we don't want anybody to be hungry here. So got some leftover undermine takeout. We got some scales if you need to use it. Got some cool alchemist stuff. Some more food. Some goulash. you know, come back, sit up here, chill, hit the hookah. Hit the hookah and just hang out with your friends while you overlook at, got this, I can't remember, I'd give the shout out to him if I can remember, but you got the True Shot Skeleton Dragon Head over there that is obviously breathing fire and seeing fire. And some people might say, hey, Bob, why didn't you make this iron chandelier smaller away? Who knows if you need to light something up here? I don't know what people are doing. More fun, more festivities for everybody. But you got it right there. You got candles that you can light off of. So cool. Now we'll come back. Whoop, we're going to miss the jump. Are we going to miss the jump? Which way are we going to go? We'll show you guys this way. This is a really good reveal here. Really good reveal. So then we have the next area. Once again, this is a shout out to the lights, or the Light Destined Manor. He had this in one of his rooms, and I really liked the Greenbrow's market tent, kind of bringing the outside in. So from my outside, you can see half the tent. You know, this might be where it comes back, where it's coming back in. Got a cool little chill spot over there, and of course we have a Suramar street light pointing you right over to where the wine's at. This cool little, you know, another bar area, another nice platformed, risen up area, kind of running out of seating to be able to put in the house. So eventually there will be some seating over here, but I think this looks really good. This is where I talked about using the superimposing a tree into the wall. So size it up however you want, and then melt it back into the wall. And you can actually see that by looking at my floor plan. You can see the tree right here. So there it is. Then coming this way, we can check that out in a second, but here's the real grand room. This is another one that I used as inspiration to see if I could make it, to see if I had the capability to be able to create something that I saw someone else do, and I was. And then, you know, using that as a base design and then kind of building it, making it mine from there. So I believe this looks incredible, using a lot of fire. You know, if Dobby actually slept in a bed and stuff like that, I feel like this is where he would be. Big Zandalar guy. This is kind of the gaudy area to go with that Gallywix theme. So we'll walk over there. Got my cool little wyvern up there just in case, you know, you need to fly away. He's got his little outlet if he needs to get out. But just think big, gaudy gold. That's what this whole area is. Got the bed. This is actually a auctioneer's area, so I got my little platform so that I can see it, because eventually the fish market will be underneath here. So got my little auctioneer thing with the book, you know, it's my notes there. And yeah, we got all this stuff over here. Cool new bookcase, Lore Walker bookcase. This guy's Inscription. I got Inscription and jewel crafting that I've been making a lot of decor with. So that's been really fun. Got some cool tapestries up there that are all, oop, that's clipping through a little bit, so we'll need to change that. See, we're always changing stuff. We're always going to be changing something, always going to be editing it, but really like keeping the walls covered. These using big, you know, totem banners and stuff like that. Got a Nixie up there. And then, oh, this actually, I really, really liked this. The Banshee Queen banner filled that open area up really well. So everybody, we're back. Realized that halfway through my video of recording that my mic muted on me. So you'll see me checking that a little bit more now. But continue on with the tour. We can go back up here. And I don't know if anybody noticed this, but there is some little secret here that is now open from when I opened it on the last video. But if you run out of wine in this house, you're going to have to be able to go get some. So this is what I've talked about. Like, I love designing, constructing. And so using one of the spiral staircases that I was talking about, learning from that, I realized that I can make a secret little wine cave or wine room, because, well, if you're in this house, you're having a good time, people run out of wine, we can't be having that. So we went and we made a secret little wine cave to where even we have a nice little cup here for the host, to where if I need to get some more wine, I got it when I'm grabbing more barrels from my friends. So yeah, really fun, really cool stuff. coming in here. And then we can go back down. We'll close my secret wine. Don't want anybody stealing it, obviously. So we'll come back down here. This is where the fish market is going to be. So this is still a working design. There's going to be a lot more that comes out in midnight. So we will be able to make our little fish market. We got another one of those things just in case you need some food. Have under the stairwell coming over here in case you need to plan some stuff. And because Dobby always lives underneath the stairs, I could, you know, take a break right under here and sleep. And then if you need to take a shower because you've been out fishing, doing whatever all day, we got a cool little shower here. Fun little trick we'll talk about with using a fountain and superimposing it into the wall. We'll put that, we'll explain that in the next room, but that's how I was able to get that effect to the shower. And that shower is actually from under mine. It's from fishing, the rusty patchwork tub. Super cool. And now this area, this thing's all about fishing, right? So I had to make a fishing cave. And can anybody guess what that is? Let me know if you knew right off the bat. But what I was going for is an angler fish. So created a fun little, you know, angler fish cave that is also my little secret passageway. I don't know if anybody noticed to get back to my main room because we're always running around. We're always designing. So to go all the way around would be ridiculous. So we made a little way over there. So super fun here. I have to give a shout out once again to Elite in his house because he's the first place I saw something like this. I was like, how is he able to see outside in his house when the windows don't see anything? Well, the way that you're doing that is by taking these gold shower windows, flipping them 180, and now you can see through them. So to give you guys kind of a little behind the curtain, you can see this is a cross-shaped room, and we use some walls. Put that in last. Ask me how I know. But then you can just put all your trees and foliage there, and then lighting. That's what really makes it to where obviously you can see that stuff back there. You can backlight it. And then the last piece is that to be able to get it to look like it's, you know, a sunny blue day out there, which I might be missing it a little bit. It's pretty bright, but is using carpets to make it look like a blue background. So those are just carpets put up at 200% and you know, put there on the wall. So really love how this came out. Very, very fun design. And shout out to Mia for showing me about or telling me about the carpets because it used to just be a white back wall and it didn't look as good as it does now. So shout out to her. Thank you for that info. And then this is the newest part of the house that I designed the other night when I hit level 6. This came about because I got this Horde Warlord's throne. And so I just instantly got an idea. And we went with another, as you can tell, empty stairwell because I love the vertical. Let's get all that out of the way. Let's even zoom in a little bit to give you guys the real thing. Obviously still working on this corner. It's a little bit bare, but we'll figure something out. More wine barrels. Always got to have wine on the ready for when you're throwing parties for the people. But so the idea how this came about was I wanted to have, you know, the Warlord's throne elevated as if it's Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings kind of thing. So I like rocks. I like waterfalls. So that's how you're seeing the waterfalls once again. Those are the overgrown wild hammer fountains, and you can see how I was able to do that by putting them through the wall to where you can see the water come out. Kind of, you know, your little secret behind the curtain thing for y'all. Be able to see how we do these. And yeah, so put it up there, created these rocks to make it a little stairway, put a little fire in there, went and got some more decor, the Horde battle emblem, the Black Rock weapon rack, the Frostwolf art stuff. Had to go get all this. But this area, you know, if you're having guys come over, they want to, you know, brawl it up a little bit, we got some punching bags for them. It's where people might get a little rowdy after having some wine. Got a sweet little bench here, obviously color matched to Horde Red, and then dueling flags, some just cool stuff. You got, you know, you have your Black Rock bunk bed back there just in case you need to pass out. And then coming over to this side, this is once again using a wall shelf to make a stairway. That's all nice and covered. Got a cool little eating spot just in case the Warlord wants to have some friends over to talk about, you know, where are we going to go pillage next? Where are we going to go get some more wine from? Whose wine are we interested in drinking next? We have our little grotto back here, so a little tusk fireplace, some foliage put down here. This was planned. Having a little grotto underneath just kind of came about. It was a happy accident. So really cool. And then, yeah, this is what kind of maxed me out on my level 6 house, was building this whole area. But a lot of my stuff is because it's platforms and building elevation and stairways. So, yeah, we'll go back out. As you can tell, this is the secret doorway. Oops. So when you guys saw that when we were in there originally, that's where that led to. Once again, I am out of housing stuff right now. How to room, so this is just kind of a placeholder for ideas that I'm having. New little rogue class order hall thing, that's cool. So we'll figure out something to do once we unlock level 7 in here. I also need to unlock a big room that I have a big idea for next, so stand by for that. And we'll check out the last little area. You might have gotten a sneak peek of it, but I got a lot of mechanome things, so I wanted to create something. And because this room opened up off of this room, had this doorway that I just didn't want to wall up, you know, use whatever space you have. So we have my cool little experiment area here. This is pretty sweet. Obviously, they were working with some, the mini charging station here that's working with an exposed eternal pipe, putting it into the Talvik storage and maintenance device. We'll see how that works out. But, you know, everything works using the space as wisely as you can. And then we have the cool gnomish Tesla tower with our safety electrical cable, you know, going back and forth into these Tesla towers. Because we've got to keep everything powered around here, right? This has been fun. This room specifically is what I've been working on the last couple days. And just time is irrelevant, as I might have mentioned before. I can't remember if my mic turned off since I mentioned that the first time. But yeah, time is irrelevant when you're doing housing. The time goes by so fast. But it's kind of the end of the tour. This is where I'm at right now. Once again, if you ever want to come check out my house, it is Plot 0 in Happy Wind Refuge. Come by, come say what's up. We always got music playing. We always got fun times happening. And housing has just really lit a fire for me in this game. I've had so much fun going out into the open world content. Have to give a shout out to Blizzard for doing this, because after Legion Remix stopped, I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. So I started testing out housing and started having a ton of fun. And, you know, I'm thankful that they created this, because I've been having so much fun. It's got me out into the real world and checking out old school stuff just to go get decor. As my friends are always laughing at me, they're like, the only reason you're out in the real world is to go get more decor. And I'm like, hey, this is what I'm having fun doing right now. So I'm just really going to go with it. And I'd like everybody to remember that when you're playing the game. You know, I've had times in my life, once again, I started playing this game in 2005 when I was 13 years old. And there's been times that I haven't been able to play as much as I am now. So I'm thankful in whatever version of the game that I'm getting. Obviously, Blizzard can do better about certain things or whatever, but I try to forget about that and just enjoy playing the game, doing whatever you want. Just have fun. When I log in, I do exactly what I want to do. I try not to get onto the grind of you have to do this, you have to do that. It's just not how I play the game anymore. I play it doing it exactly what I want to do to have fun. And I challenge everybody to do that. If you enjoyed the house tour, let me know. Give the video a thumbs up. Comment down if you think it's cool, if you think I should change anything. I want to hear your guys' comments. And if you want to come over to the Twitch stream. I'm a new Twitch streamer. It's JustBoblee's. Come hang out. I usually stream 2 to 3 times a week at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And YouTube channel, check out the videos. I started streaming when Legion Remix was a thing, and I've been absolutely having a good time with cutting videos and streaming. Been a little bit lazy on the videos, I will say that, because I've been having so much fun doing housing. And I've just caught myself playing the game. So I can't be mad at myself too much for that, because, well, I've just been having fun. And this is the first video really showing off my house. Hopefully you guys like it. Tell me what I can do better. Tell me what you guys like. Tell me what you don't like. I want to hear all opinions. I like playing the game. And yeah, for everybody, this is Bob Lee. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.